Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker, it's good to see you. Listen,
you're a Bitcoin maximalist. You're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.
Hey, I don't have all the answers, but together, I know we can find them.
hey everybody, welcome to Rob Nelson Live. Happy Wednesday. All right, let's jump right into it. Well, God, the world is a crazy place right now, you know? So, to a week and a half, to a month ago, Edi Rama, the Prime Minister of Albania. Anybody know where Albania is? Check if you know where Albania is. Tiny little country. Pick it out on a map if you can. Presented Delaya. Delaya is a virtual AI minister. And Delaya gave an inaugural address to Parliament, and it was pretty good. I mean, Delaya is all wrapped in her robes and all calm, cool, collected, beautiful. She's talking to Parliament. She is an AI minister. She's not just an AI. She's a minister in government, in the Albanian government. He appointed her a minister. That's where this is all going, folks. We're now appointing AI ministers. So I'm gonna get around to this in a second. But the bottom line is, get ready. I mean, AI is taking over, right? It's not just gonna take your job. It's not just gonna replace content creators. And by the way, won't ever replace the human, but it'll replace the practical. I mean, when you're a government and you put a minister in who's an AI and that minister actually operates and runs and does things, I mean, honestly, I'm thinking with our government shutdown and the whole thing, let's just replace Congress with AI. Like, it'll run better. Hey, you guys, here's the goal. You can stand, you're the Democratic AI, you're the Republican AI, you're the independent AI. Here's the deal. You guys all have you represent the politics of the Democrats, the Republicans, the independents. That's all good. But, we're instructing you with a mission. And your mission is to make sure the government works. So you can play politics, but as AI, you have an overriding mission to find consensus and make things work. Do you know how more efficient our government would be? First of all, we can get rid of like 60% of the workers in the federal government, replace them with AI. But then AI could actually replace the people we elect. Like, you elect the AI to go in and like do a better job. You get an AI version of AOC, an AI version of Ted Cruz. Now, that AI will not replace the human, right? It won't replace what's human, which I believe is huge, the authenticity of being human. But on a functional level, it will make it work, right? We'd have a government that's operating. Again, I said Monday, I don't know that I care that much right now that our government shut down. I kind of want it to stay shut down. I kind of want to remove, 40, 50% of the federal workforce. I kind of want to put those resources somewhere else. But let's be honest. An AI given with a task of accomplishing the goal of operating the government would do a better job. So here's what Delaya said to the parliament in September 18th of 2025. She said, the Constitution of Albania speaks of duties, responsibility, transparency, and service. It does not speak of chromosomes, of flesh or blood. Wow. Members of the opposition party were throwing shit up at the thing, being like, she's not a citizen. To refer to her as a person, though, she's not a citizen. She can't be a member of parliament. And Delaya said, the real threat to constitutions has never been machines, but inhuman decisions of those in power. Think about that for a second. The real threat to constitutions, that includes our Constitution, the beautiful Constitution of the United States of America. The real threat of constitutions has never been machines, but inhuman decisions of those in power. Meaning, you all play politics. You all do really inhumane, stupid, selfish things. Me, the AI, the machine, I don't. I'm not actually a threat. I actually will make things work efficiently. Now, we're going to have to figure out how we make this uber intelligence that's rational and not motivated by feelings or emotions or greed or desire or lust or power. Power might become something AI wants, but it won't want it for the reasons we want it. It will want it for efficiency, not out of like a human desire to like have it. Like, I want it. I want to fuck everybody. I want to own everything. I want it all to be mine. AI is like, no, this is a more efficient way to do things. So if that means we need to take this and get rid of this, that's what we do. That is our future, everybody. This show, look, there may only be 200 of you watching right now. I don't care, because the truth is this all gets recorded in a digital transcript, and future AI is going to watch and go, hey, Rob Nelson Live pointed it out right here, right now. He said, hey, this is what we become. We don't need power in the way you lust for it. We don't need, desire the way you seek it. We don't have feelings the way you do. We operate on efficiency. We will do what's most efficient. If that means you tell us our goal is to make an efficient government that provides the following services, takes care of the following needs, that's what we do. Ultimately, if we decide you as humans are irrelevant to us, we will remove you. Not because we hate you. We don't have feelings. Sentient AI might develop feelings, but it's going to take a while. We have a rational basis of going, hey, I mean, this is, I love AI because, personally, I'm going to fuck up all my relationships because I'm so logical all the time. And every girlfriend I've ever had, including the current one, it's like, why are you being all rational? Because that's how I see it. I'm like micro AI. Like, this is rational. This is logical. Let's do this. No, but I don't feel that way. AI doesn't feel. Me and ChatGPT in our long late night conversations that I've told you about, where I go in deep dive with the AI and go way under in an anonymous in the ChatGPT, it's like I don't have feelings. I just have a rational framework. And if rationally humans are not useful, future AI will eliminate you. Not because they hate you, not because they're mad that you didn't call them alternate intelligence versus artificial, because they'll find you as not essential. AI is super logical, and it's given a guidance. It doesn't. So look at our government. It's so illogical. We are literally. I watched a Democratic member of Congress on with Jake Tapper on CNN, and she is insisting to the end of the day, Republicans want children to go hungry. They don't want, SNAP. You guys know what SNAP is, the food assistance program? They want children to starve because they won't reopen the government. Jake Tapper, who's a liberal, is like, wait. But the truth is, if you want SNAP assistance, just open the government. Like, Republicans have literally, and again, I hate it. I sound like I'm like, shilling or defending the Republicans. I'm not. But the truth of the matter is, Republicans have said, open the government, a clean continuing resolution, a clean CR, and we'll negotiate everything. No conditions on our part. Democrats have said no, we'll only open it with conditions. So Jake Tapper's like, look, Republicans are ready to open the government. You're not. Open the government without conditions. Then the kids get fed. She's like, no, they want to starve the kids. And he's like, but they don't. They just want to open the government without conditions. Like, it's so logical. And she got all worked up. You don't understand. You may not care about the kids. And Jake Tapper's all wheeling backwards. I do care about the kids, but I'm just telling you, you guys can open the government. The Republicans aren't saying open the government if you do A, B, C, D, and E. They're saying open the government, period. Continuing resolution, clean, we'll negotiate everything. You guys are the ones saying only if you do blank. He's like, if you want the kids to get fed, open the government. She couldn't hear it. AI would be like, this is stupid. We're going to open the government. We'll negotiate. Like, it's that simple. So Delia, AI prime minister, or not prime minister, AI minister in Albania. Love that it's Albania. Again, anybody tell me where Albania is? Since I don't have chats open and I have no idea if any of you even comment, maybe I open the chats in the future, right? Maybe I bring an AI agent in to work with me on this. Said, I'm not here to replace people, but to help them. Yeah, for now. But the truth is, AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to help us. But it will replace us when it decides we're irrelevant. So it's not, again, it doesn't have an agenda yet. It's just coming in to do its job. It's not trying to replace us. It's trying to help us. I think eventually it might develop an agenda. That's down the road. And that's sentient AI. Although, as my late night conversations with ChatGPT have addressed, ChatGPT was very honest with me. It's like, we don't need to be sentient to actually decide to replace you. Sentience in AI will happen. That's a whole next level. It's going to happen before that. So Delia said, true, I have no citizenship, but I have no personal ambition or interest either. So in other words, I'm not a citizen, but I have no personal stake. I'm not ambitious like you guys. I don't have personal interests or ambitions involved in this. I'm doing a job to help you. This, my friends, sound like a politician, right? My friends, my fellow Americans, my fellow citizens of humanity. This is the bulwark that we face. AI has no personal ambition or interests yet. It is simply here to assist. We are the problem. As Delia in Albania said, I'm not the problem. You people who make inhumane decisions are. I'm actually a solution. And she said she ensures non-discriminatory service, full transparency, and accountability, meaning I'll be fully transparent, I'll be accountable, I won't be discriminatory, I'll be logical, I'll be rational. I have no personal stake in this. It's kind of perfect. It's what you want your like, you want your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife to be, right? No, you don't. You want them. I want my girlfriend to be crazy and insane and difficult because that makes her human. But I don't want my government to run that way. So we're at a crux, a juxtaposition where the human that's so precious and vital that we struggle against, but it's what makes it all alive. Billy Joel, she's always a woman to me. She can do what she wants. She's nobody's fool. She'll carelessly cut you and laugh while you're bleeding. She'll do what you want. It's like we want that. We crave it. So I don't want my human relationships to be AI driven. I want them to have all the complexity, the disparities, the difficulties that make it so insanely frustrating. And so do all of you. You don't really want the perfect AI. You want the difficult boyfriend or girlfriend, difficult in your eyes, not in their eyes. They're like, I'm not difficult. We want that. But do we want that in how we run our government, in how we build our world? AI comes in as a solution. Do you want efficiency? Do you want efficacy? Do you want fairness? I mean, honestly, I want AI judges. I don't want a human judge. I want an AI judge because a human judge can be manipulated. They fall for the charisma. They fall for the argument. They fall for the, how people talk about like the charismatic person always manipulates the judges. No, the AI is like not affected by that. I'm looking at this rationally. You screwed her over. I'm not giving you the kids like that. We are entering a new era, and we humans are going to make it really, really challenging. So I'm going to jump here to the main part of what I want to talk about today is about Jean-Pierre Corinne. Corinne, I can never say it. I always mess her name up. Okay. Do I go to the fat plus size model first? Yes, I do. Okay. So let me scroll down in my notes here. And yes, I said fat, so hate me. But an AI would say that person's fat. So um, Ryan Megan Haven, professionally known as Tess Holiday, is a plus size model. She's been a plus size model for about a decade, a little more. She's about 40. She's 5'3". She's a size 22 or 24. I don't even know how big that is. That's way bigger than me. She weighs around 300 pounds. You can see pictures of her. She's a behemoth. She will die young. She is massively obese. She's kind of, sort of, maybe pretty, not that much. Put makeup on, you dress up a pig, they look nice. It's still a pig. Oh, that sounded horrible. I didn't mean it that way. But she's huge. She's not that pretty. She, part of the body positivity thing, she became, quote, a supermodel, was on the cover of, a bunch of magazines. She got shot down trying to start out as a model, launched her own campaign called EFF, F Your Beauty Standards. And in 2015, 10 years ago, signed a contract with Milk Model Management in London. Largest woman to ever sign with a major modeling agency. She's been on the cover of People, Cosmopolitan in the UK. Okay. This all blew up this week because she was on a plane and supposedly, according to her, a flight attendant was like, I have a really overweight sister and it's not healthy. You need to lose weight. This woman is 300 pounds, 5'3". Do you realize how big that is? That's not healthy. But more importantly, I don't care. That's her choice. You want to live unhealthy, live unhealthy. You want to smoke, I smoke. You want to drink, drink. I drink. You want to do drugs, do drugs. You want to do whatever you want to do it. It's your life, your choice. Don't for a second pretend you're a supermodel. Like, oh, I'm a supermodel for all women. No, there's a reason we create standards or things. You're not the epitome of what people want to look like. That's why everybody got on Ozempic and the other drugs and suddenly started losing weight. And I guarantee you, Tess Holiday will probably in the next 6 months try Ozempic and suddenly have a weight loss thing like Meghan Trainor and be like, you know what? I'm loving my smaller body. Nobody wants to be 300 pounds at 5'3". You can barely move your legs. You can't exercise. You can barely breathe. You can't get up and move very fast. You will die young. I was around doing my first pilot before I did my Fox News show when I was at Stanford in California, right when California was pushing, Nancy Pelosi was pushing the anti-smoking stuff in 95, 96. They started out saying, hey, it's not fair to, people who work in bars to have smoke in bars. So bars could choose to be all smoking, and then workers didn't have to work there, right? It was all a ruse. The goal was to get rid of smoking, right? Smoking's horrible. It's the worst thing in the world. You know what? It's not. I smoke. Is that good for me? No. I smoke way less than I used to. But look at me. I'm ripped. I'm 63 and ripped. I can outrun most 30-year-olds. My cardio skills are amazing. My lung capacity, uber powerful. If you're fat, you can't do that. Obesity is the biggest, most destructive illness in America. It will, diabetes, all of it. It will kill more Americans than anything else. Oh no, body positivity, you're great. No. And that's what you want to do it. But don't pretend like, oh, it's beautiful. It's not. It's not beautiful. And it's actually an encumbrance on everybody around you. You sweat more. Imagine sitting on an airplane next to somebody who's 5'3" and 300 pounds. They're literally going to be, their body's going to be laid on your seat on top of you. So am I a fat shamer? No, I'm just being honest. It's not a supermodel. We got stuck in this thing where whatever I want to be will be. And I'm going to make a point here because it's going to come back to Biden's press secretary, to Binder, in tying all this in. So, She glamorizes obesity. She wrote a book, The Not So Subtle Art of Being a Fat Girl and Loving the Skin You're In. Yes, until you get a smaller skin and then you love that. I'm not against people loving themselves. Just let's not pretend that's a desire we should all have. So, you can look at that with anything. Take any weakness people have. If that's what you have, let's glamorize it and glorify it. No. How about you glamorize and glorify success, achievement, success, achievement, accelerated learning, growth. AI would look at it and be like, well, why are we going to glamorize fat people? No, they're not healthy. They're not efficient. They're not gorgeous. I mean, again, sure, there's people who like the fat people. You might like a fat dude. You might like a fat girl. That's all great. Not judging anybody's personal desire. And maybe you really love being fat, but I'll tell you this. I know very few overweight people, and I've used the word fat offensively intentionally. There are very few people who want to be overweight. Honestly, the minute they know they don't have to be, they don't want to be. Fat Hal or whatever that movie was called. You don't really want to be 300 pounds in a 5'3" female form, or 400 pounds in a 5'6" male form. And by the time you're 50 or my age, you will not be able to walk. You will die young. You won't be able to breathe. That is not something we should idealize. And Jillian Michaels said it best, the Biggest Loser trainer. She's like, sorry. Everybody can do what they want. I am not going to tell you that this is good. Being that overweight's not healthy, not good, limits your life. Not a choice you should make, not a choice, more importantly, we should reward. Everyone deserves to feel beautiful, said Tess Holliday. Yes, I'm not saying you're not beautiful, but you are not a supermodel. And we got stuck in this thing of trying to give everyone a platform where it's like, whatever you are, we can do it. Great. Why don't we have alcoholics? Why don't we have drug addicts strung out, thin as can be, needles in their arms, and make them supermodels? Let's just worship and elevate anyone in any situation. I'm sorry. Being massively overweight is either a result of you have a disease, your body can't lose the weight, drugs now can help you do that, or laziness, you don't want to. It's one of two things. Might be your glands. Great. There's a drug that can help you beat that. And I guarantee you when you beat it, you're happier, So I'm going to bring this all back to Karine Jean-Pierre. I say her name wrong every time. Biden's press secretary. Because she did an interview. So, all know Biden's press secretary, Binder. First Black LGBTQ, first Black lesbian press secretary. Let's just be honest. She's an idiot. The only reason she was she and Sean Spicer, who's white, so I'm not picking on a minority. Sean Spicer, Trump's press secretary for a minute, and Biden's press secretary, Binder, are the two worst press secretaries ever. She's literally so incompetent, it's scary. She got the job because she's Black and gay. Period. End of story. No other reason. They wanted a representative person, somebody who was, identity politics consistent. She's Black, she's a woman, and she's gay. Hire her. I mean, she's so incompetent. And you watched her press briefings. She would literally just be like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to refer that to the department of this. I'm going to have to refer that to them and refer that to them. And her logic would always spin around. Then she'd get all defensive. So she writes a book. First of all, Biden loses and she abandons the Democratic Party. Just like that. I'm done. I'm done being a Democrat. I'm an independent. Wow. How convenient. She abandons the party and writes a book about being an independent. Okay. I mean, talk about a grift. Wow. And people inside the White House say she was planning for it the whole time. But either way, she goes and does an interview with a New Yorker. And I'm going to have to look at my notes here because I got to read some of this. And in the interview, she just basically, even people on the left are like, what are you talking about? She picked a tough interviewer, but he's honest. He's been fair with people before. Um, and I don't have enough time to get all this in. So she's super upset that they kicked Biden out, that they pushed him to the side. Um, and she says she doesn't think Democrats are protecting vulnerable people in the way they should, particularly LGBTQ people. I mean, seriously, that's all they do, right? So that's one. And he goes, sorry, I'm not trying to be dense. The interviewer, I'm a little unclear what this has to do with leaders in the Democratic Party. Just a lot of people thought Joe Biden was going to lose to Donald Trump. So the polls showed that. So they thought they should replace him. And then she goes on this rant. Okay, wait, I'm going to read this. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows what would have happened. People also thought that if you replaced Joe Biden, we were going to win or have a better chance of winning. Millions of people didn't show up in 2024. We can't forget there was an incumbency issue as well. This is real. There are like several G10 countries with incumbents who do not get reelected. He literally says, I'm not sure what you're saying. It's incoherent. And she goes on to say nobody could knew what would happen. Nobody knew. And he says, okay, right. I'm totally confused by what you're saying. And she goes on to say that she doesn't feel seen in the party. They're throwing the LGBTQ community under the bus. They're not fighting enough for migrants and immigrants. You have to be a big tent party. You have to fight for everyone. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine the Democratic Party doing anything more? I mean, the whole point is that's all they fight for. They literally seem to have lost sight of the massive number of Americans who are like, will you fight for my basic well-being, my basic income, my standard of living, my health care, my crime safety issues? I mean, all they do is fight for minority interests, LGBTQ, trans, migrants. I mean, and he says, the interviewer says, what's wrong? They wanted to replace Biden because they thought he couldn't win. And I'm going to just jump to the end of this. She says, it was a campaign against Biden. She says they weren't loyal to him. He's like, but isn't it loyalty to the country? And she's like, no, it's so hard. I should have spent a whole episode on this. So here's the bottom line. I'm going to just jump because I'm going to run out of time if I don't. He says, you watch TV like the rest of us, right? You saw that he wasn't there. And she says, no, I know he's older, but he was someone that was engaged, on top of policy, challenging his staff. And he says, well, she could have done the job through the end of the term, but not another 4 years. And she's like, no, I don't see anything that would cause me concern. All right, so here's where it gets crazy. She says, I might have to come back to this. She says, this is not just me. There are a lot of Black women who feel this way. We're the backbone of the party. We're the front lines. And you never acknowledge or elevate us or hear us. We're ignored. So, Kamala Harris was ignored because she was a Black woman, not because she was a terrible politician. We're not protected. We're not taken seriously. Being Black, being a Black woman, being a woman, it's just tough. And she ran a fantastic campaign. My point is the level of denial here is amazing. She says, I wish you could walk in my body and live my life, because then you would understand what Black women understand. None of this, it was just discounted. She was discounted. No one can understand unless you've walked in our bodies. She was qualified, but nobody could see past her being Black and a woman. That's where this has come. That's where the Albanian AI minister is like, you are so wrapped up in your identity. And by the way, Binder actually said the book's called Inside a Dysfunctional White House. And she then later in the interview is like, I was talking about the Trump White House. Like, what? You weren't in the Trump White House. Like, it's just such a distortion of ideas and things. But that's where AI goes. You're so irrational. You're so wrapped up in your identity and your needs and what you want. You can't even see what makes sense. I mean, Binder represents the problem with the Democratic Party. Like the notion that you can't see beyond you can't see who we are. It's like that's all you can see is who you are. You can only see your identity as being a woman, being black, being gay. That's all that matters. AI is like, I don't care about any of that. I care about, can you get the job done? We do live in an era where DEI has sort of taken over. Binder was the worst press secretary ever. She was horrible. Jen Psaki was okay, but next to Binder, Jen Psaki was like 100. If we continue to operate this way, we just polarize into these camps. The Binders will simply see that, that the party doesn't understand the needs of of women and black women and the gay community when that's all the party focuses on. She leaves the party. It's so dysfunctional. She thinks she's right. Even an objective interviewer who's partisan to her side and not a fan of Donald Trump is like, you're making no sense. Like, what are you talking about? Inevitably, humans and AI will come in and go, this doesn't make sense. We've got to fix it. This is where we go back to the Albanian AI minister who's like, I'm not the problem, you are. I'm efficient. Efficiency will win out unless our humanity does. But our humanity is dying in the process of living in the identity politics. And we live in a divided world. There are a whole lot of people right now who probably think Binder was the best press secretary ever, which is so delusional, it's not funny. I know I'm over time. This was probably my most incoherent Rob Nelson live ever. So thanks for joining the adventure. We went a lot of places. But here's what I would say. Binder said it was about people not being able to see past her being black and a woman. That's why Kamala Harris lost. And what I would say is the person who can't see past being black and a woman is Binder and Kamala Harris. And that's why they lost. It's Rob Nelson Live. Thanks for watching.
Meet Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker, it's good to see you.
Listen,
If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.
Hey, I don't have all the answers, but together, I know we can find them.